Do you like Japan? Do you like Japan videos? Do you like people in Japan who make Japan videos reacting to people who make videos about Japan? Well, then you came to the right place. Welcome to Papa Tico Reacts, where every Friday, 8 a.m. Tokyo time, I release a reaction video to other people's Japan videos. And I'm Papa Tico. I lived in Japan a long time. And anyway, today we're watching Super Educational's video called Why It Sucked to Be a Samurai. This popped up in my feed. I want to check it out, and it is ma'am. So I want to talk to your manager, at the GameStop. Anyway, let's get into the video. Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah, why it sucked to be a samurai. Let's see. Let's see if I'm learning anything new here.
Samurais were a Japanese warrior class that first emerged in the Kamakura shogunate government in the year 1185 and hung around until the 1860s. And like most things that came to an end in the 1860s, these guys had some serious issues. Being a samurai was as much about being a warrior as it was about being in a social class. And the samurai social class was near the top. They were basically Kardashians with swords. But that's where the reality TV comparisons end. Because these dudes' lives were no fun. And not like, I went to Tampa and it was no fun. Like, zero fun was their main thing. Samurais practiced Zen Buddhism. That thing that part-time librarians in Lululemon do. Except these dudes took it super serious. This meant living in complete stoicism. And this mental discipline was crucial in adhering to the code of Bushido, the samurai's way of life, which emphasized virtues like discipline, honor, and self-control. I don't need it. I don't need it. All these qualities sound okay in theory, but like a UPS delivery man that dropped packages off in your bathroom, they took things too far. So, there was no higher value system in samurai culture than that of a master's authority. Yeah, these dudes were problematic. To quote directly, no matter how unreasonably the master may treat a man, he should not feel disgruntled. An underling does not pass judgment on a superior. This little bit of dialogue does not age well in Western culture. Let's do what these servants couldn't and move on. We'll start with the violence. Samurais lived under a constant threat of violence. Whether it was being called up to war or breaking up a bar fight, samurais were Japan's muscle. This meant samurais lived in a constant state of readiness. The physical demands were incredibly tough, and most samurais trained almost every day. Doug, I've told you, you can't bring that to CrossFit. When it was time for war, samurais were on the front lines, and the human body is poorly adapted to being shot with arrows and stabbed with swords. But wait, how is that different from fighting a war in any other time period? I'm glad you asked. Not only did samurais have to deal with the external threat of an opposing army, they had to confront the demons within. Oh, how'd that get in there? Remember how these guys were super proud and weirdly stoic? Well, if one of these dudes did do something shameful or dishonorable, they couldn't just go watch The Office and eat peanut butter straight out of the jar. Samurais practiced a tradition called seppuku, which is the act of suicide by self-disembowelment. The original Taco Bell. The samurai tradition of honor above all else meant that samurais would rather stick a sword in their guts than be a disappointment. Love me, Dad. This was a truly gruesome ritual that samurais performed with shocking regularity. Thousands of samurais ended their lives this way. The one upshot was that you didn't have to do it alone. This act was performed in a ceremonial manner and often conducted in the presence of witnesses. A trusted assistant was also present. His role was to swiftly decapitate the individual to hasten death and alleviate prolonged suffering. You know, like a friend. I'll miss you, bro. These men also did plenty of killing of other people as well. I am the danger. Samurais fought in large-scale battles where, on top of killing their enemy, it was commonplace to beautify the severed head of an unlucky corpse. This would include washing the face, combing the hair, and painting the teeth of a disembodied head. I don't
Bro,
mind all the killing, but
holy shit.
why the arts and crafts? We all know that samurais carried around a long sword for all this head chopping, but they would also carry a second and sometimes even a third sword, which is a lot to keep track of on the way to war. Keys, wallet, sword, sword. Where is my other sword? Starting in the 1500s, however, the samurais upgraded and incorporated cannons into their artillery. Isn't there a saying
Holy
about that?
shit.
Don't
Yeah.
bring a sword to a cannon? Never mind. I bet you're thinking, wait a minute. You haven't even touched on the best part of being a samurai, the outfits. And it's true. There are
The
few
pretty
ancient
dress.
warriors more
The pretty
instantly
princess.
recognizable than the fashionable samurai. And while this garb was effective at protecting their delicate insides, the weight was an issue. The full armor of a samurai could weigh as much as 66 pounds.
Holy
A
shit.
samurai's helmet alone could weigh up to 11 pounds. Yeah,
Bro.
workers' comp, so my neck is like a disaster. No, I can't move it at all. And it's important to note that the average height of a Japanese man in this era was between 5'3" and 5'5".
Bro.
Are you wearing lifts? No, this made fighting almost impossible. Half the time a samurai battle was just looking good and posturing. Many battles were actually avoided because these guys looked like an absolute nightmare to deal with. When you think of a samurai battle, imagine less acrobatic sword wielding and more turtle on its back. So I just need a quick hand, okay? Don't make this a big deal.
Is this
It was an
true?
honest mistake. When they weren't on the battlefield, you could find these gentlemen lounging in the era's finest kimonos, which isn't a bad look, but they are dry clean only. Hello? Hello? Contrary to what a mildly popular Tom Cruise film from 2003 suggests, being a samurai wasn't always cool. While there was quite a bit of violence in the world of a samurai, many of these warriors died in complete obscurity, living normal lives. The worst punishment of all. Sure, some samurai warriors died valiantly fighting from the back of a horse,
Worst
but far more
punishment.
muddled in obscurity, handling mundane and bureaucratic jobs. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday. As the role of a samurai evolved over centuries, many once proud samurais were forced to take up a regular trade. By the late 1800s, samurais had gone full Paul Blart. Samurais often managed lands, collected taxes, and handled various administrative duties for their lords. The work of a samurai was repetitive and monotonous. The code of Bushido, or way of the warrior, didn't leave much room for spontaneity or Atari. And despite all this dirty work, the pay sucked. While samurais held a respected status, many samurais struggled financially. You wouldn't happen to have this katana as like a buy now, pay later type of deal? Yeah, I didn't think so. They often relied on stipends from their lords, and during times of peace, those stipends were seldom sufficient to maintain their social standing. To quote J. Cole, I just want the money. Y'all can keep the fame. So
Yeah.
don't get it twisted. The life of a samurai was far from glorious. It was a boring, bloody, tedious existence. But hey, it still beats being a ninja. Have you been up there the whole time?
Hmm. Okay, that was good try. You need to like for super educational, you need to work on the audio. Make it less loud. I mean, like mine is turned up like good enough, but like you gotta. I don't know. If there's a way to make the sound like make it sound softer, and I don't mean your voice. I mean the audio. It just seemed like overwhelming. But anyway, it's good. I know you're trying, so it's cool. But anyway, yeah, interesting video. I did not know that about the samurai armor. I'm so surprised because it's just like I'm a big fat guy, right? Like I'm almost 400 pounds, so like I always am walking around, and like on top of that, I constantly like wear a big backpack that's at least probably 20 kilos or more. So I don't know how much that is, like 40 pounds or whatever. Like I usually carry like a big bag with me as well, so I'm used to carrying around heavy stuff. But like if 40 pounds is heavy for me, and like it's not even like super heavy, but like I feel slightly like overcumbered with that. Like imagining like a tiny Asian guy with 66 pounds of armor. Like, fuck, bro. That's just tough. And yeah, there's a great movie that shows how shitty being a samurai is, and it's called, I think it's called The Twilight Samurai. And, I mean, it's the same thing that goes with, like, cowboys, right? It's like everybody wants to be a cowboy in a Clint Eastwood movie. They don't want to be a cowboy that was, like, an actual cowboy in the reality of it. And so, like, samurai stuff, too. Like, you want the samurai to be really cool and, like, Tom Cruisey and stuff. But in reality, not that amazing, you know? So, anyway, good video. Guys, I'm going to put the video link for this in the video description down below, so make sure to go and give him a follow. And yeah, guys, if you like this video, smash like button. I do have a series on my Patreon, which gets you from beginner all the way. A lot of Japanese lessons I see online, they're only for beginner and intermediate. And that's fucking lame, you know? Like, if you want... Some of my best teachers were the ones that stuck around a lot. And a lot of Japanese lessons, they just want to sell you the stuff because they know that you're going to quit. But, you know, in retrospect, I don't really make a lot of money from these lessons, but I like that you guys want to come to Japan. I like that you guys want to learn Japanese, and I want to be part of that. And at the same time, if you guys want to give me money for that, then even better. But, yeah, this is, anyway, yeah, the link's down below for patreon.com/Tkyosam. Consider becoming a patron. And, yeah, big shout out to all of my members and viewers who are checking this video out. Don't forget to leave a comment if you want to see more reaction videos like this in the future. And, yeah, I'm going to put the playlist for all my reactions on the top comment. So go over and binge that shit. And, yeah, anyway, you guys stay black. And I'll see you on the next one. Tkyosam deshita. Yeah, buddy. Woo!
It's time you bit the bullet and started caring about something with all your heart and energy. But you can't care about it if you're always holding yourself back in case it doesn't work out.